So here's how to write a coaching tagline that actually sticks. You run it through 5 steps, in order. Understand what your client secretly wants. Get clear on what you stand for. Cut it down to the fewest possible words. Make it hit them in the gut. And then actually live up to it. That's the whole framework. And if you do the 5 steps in that order, you end up with a tagline people remember instead of one more forgettable line under your name. I overthought this for way too long. I had a coaching website with a tagline so vague that my own mom couldn't tell you what I did. So, in this video, I'll walk you through all 5 steps, one at a time, and the 4th one is where most coaches finally break through, so stay with me for that. Now, quick warning before we start. There's one step almost everybody skips, and skipping it is why so many taglines feel fake the second you read them. I'll tell you which step it is near the end, and once you see it, you can't unsee it in other people's branding. So let's start with step 1, and it's the step that does the heavy lifting. Understand what your client actually wants, not what you think they should want, what they lie awake wanting. Here's the mistake I made for years. I wrote my tagline about me and my method, something like holistic transformational coaching for the whole self. Nobody wakes up wanting holistic transformation. They wake up wanting to stop dreading Monday, or to finally feel calm around money, or to actually like the person they're becoming. So the move here is simple. Write down the exact result your client is desperate for, in their words, not yours. If you coach career changers, they don't want alignment. They want to walk into a job they don't resent. If you're a health coach, they don't want wellness optimization. They want to stop feeling tired all the time. That real, plain language desire is the raw material for your whole coaching tagline, and if you skip this step, everything after it is built on sand. The fastest way to get this is to actually go read what your clients say. Pull up old intake forms, old emails, the notes from your discovery calls. Look for the phrases they use over and over. Those repeated phrases are gold because that's the language already living in their heads. But knowing what they want isn't enough on its own because 100 other coaches want to give them the same thing. Which brings us to step 2. Show what you stand for. This is the difference between your coaching tagline and everyone else's. Think about 2 health coaches. They both help people eat better. But one stands for strict discipline and tracking every calorie, and the other stands for ditching diets completely and trusting your body. Same outcome, opposite belief. And your belief is the thing that makes the right client feel like you're talking directly to them. So ask yourself what you'd argue about at a dinner party. What's the thing you believe about coaching that not everyone agrees with? Maybe you think most people don't need more motivation, they need a smaller plan. Maybe you think burnout isn't a time management problem, it's a boundaries problem. That point of view is your differentiator, and it's what turns a generic promise into actual coaching branding that feels like you. I want to be really clear about this part, because it's where the good taglines separate from the boring ones. Undiet your life only works because it takes a side. It's not healthy living made easy, which says nothing, it plants a flag. So don't sand down your opinion to sound safe. The flag is the point. So now you know what your client wants and what you stand for. That's usually a big messy paragraph at this stage, and that's fine. Step 3 is where you cut it down until it almost hurts. A tagline is not your life story. It's not even a full sentence sometimes. The best ones are 3 to 7 words that a stranger can read in one glance and instantly get. From stuck to unstoppable. Get paid what you're worth. Less chaos, more revenue. You could explain each of those for 10 minutes, but you don't have to, because the short version already did the work. Here's how I do the cutting. Write 10 versions out loud and delete every word that isn't earning its place. Adjectives like transformational and holistic are almost always the first to go because they're filler that every coach uses. Then read what's left to someone who has no idea what you do. If they get it in under 2 seconds, you're close. If they tilt their head, keep cutting. And this is the same line you'll use as your coaching elevator pitch, by the way. When someone at a party asks what you do, you don't want to give them a paragraph. You want the short, sharp version that makes them go, "Wait, tell me more." Short isn't just for your website. Short is what makes you repeatable, and repeatable is how word of mouth actually spreads. Okay, this next step is the one I promised you at the start, and it's the one that changes everything. Step 4, make them feel something. Here's the truth nobody tells you about taglines. People don't remember information, they remember emotion. You can have a perfectly accurate tagline that describes exactly what you do, and it can still be completely dead on the page because it doesn't make anyone feel anything. So the trick is contrast. You put where they are now right next to where they want to be, and the gap between those two things creates a little jolt. From overwhelmed to organized. You feel both states in 4 words. Stop settling, start living. You feel the itch of the first half and the relief of the second. That tension is the emotion, and the emotion is what makes it stick in someone's memory long after they've closed the tab. Let me say that again, because it's the whole ball game. A tagline that only describes gets forgotten. A tagline that makes someone feel the before and the after gets remembered. So after you've cut your line down in step 3, run it through one last test. Does this make me feel the transformation, or does it just explain it? If it only explains, add the contrast back in. Name the pain they're leaving and the relief they're heading toward, and let those two things sit right next to each other. This is why leading with the result works so much better than leading with your process. Nobody feels anything about your 6-week methodology. They feel something about finally not dreading Monday. So lead with the feeling every time. So remember at the start when I said there's one step almost everyone skips? This is it. Step 5. Actually live up to your tagline. Here's what I mean. Your coaching tagline is a promise. And the moment someone reads less chaos, more revenue, and then lands on a website that's a chaotic mess, the promise breaks, and you lose them faster than if you'd never made the promise at all. The tagline sets an expectation, and everything they touch after that either backs it up or exposes it as marketing fluff. So this step isn't about writing anymore. It's about consistency. If your tagline says simple, your booking process had better be simple. If it says calm, your emails can't be frantic all caps sales blasts. The experience has to match the words, or the words start working against you. And this is where having your stuff in one clean place genuinely matters. I run my whole coaching business through Paperbell, so my tagline sits right at the top of my package pages, and then the actual experience underneath it, the booking, the payment, the contracts, all feels like one calm, consistent thing. That's what lets me live up to the promise instead of it just being a nice line I wrote once. When the words and the experience match, people trust you, and trust is what gets them to book. So let's bring it all back together, because those 5 steps are the whole framework. Understand what your client actually wants, get clear on what you stand for, cut it down until it almost hurts, make them feel the before and after, and then live up to it in everything you do. And that last part is the one to sit with. A great coaching tagline isn't a clever line you write once and forget. It's a promise you keep every single day, in every email, every session, every page of your site. Get the words right, then go build the experience that proves them true. So here's your action step for this week. Run your current tagline through all 5 steps and be honest about where it falls apart. Most of the time, it's step 1 or step 4. Then rewrite it, cut it down, and put it somewhere people will actually see it. I set mine up on Paperbell so it lives right on my booking page, and you can try Paperbell for free to do the same. The link's in the description. Go write the line that finally sounds like you.